What's up, Minecrafters? My name is Mathew Kande and welcome back to another how-to tutorial video. Today's video is slightly longer because there's a lot to cover in the bees, so I'll add these timestamps on the left-hand side of your screen so you can skip forward to whatever section you want to. Let's jump right into this. Let's start with crafting. The crafting recipe for the beehive is here in front of you. So on a crafting table, you're going to need 6 wooden planks. They can be any type of plank that you wish. Birch, oak, spruce, and 3 honeycomb. There's the recipe for the beehive. The crafting recipe for the bee's nest is here in front of you. There is none. You actually need a silk touch axe. And you're going to need to find one of these in the wild. Now, just to give you a heads up, they do naturally spawn in flower forests, in the plains, and in sunflower plains. Obtaining honeycomb. 2 methods to obtain honeycomb. There's one, you can go find one of these bee nests in the wild. This is what a full one looks like. This is what an empty one looks like. You'll notice the full one is actually dripping honey on the ground. If you take a shears to it, it will drop 3 of these honeycomb. Taking a shears to this will drop 0. The other way of getting it is if you have a beehive. Same situation. Here's what a full one looks like. Here's what an empty one looks like. Take your shears to the full one and you'll get 3 of these honeycomb. Take your shears to this empty one and you'll get none. Obtaining the honey bottle is just as simple as obtaining the honeycomb, except instead of using shears, you're going to use a glass bottle, and you can do it on either the nest or on the hive. However, the wiki says that if you put a campfire underneath either of these items, the smoke will prevent the bees from getting aggro on you when you harvest the honey or the honeycomb. As you see, I now have my honey bottle, and none of the bees are upset or aggravated on me. How do you go from an empty hive to a full hive? How do you go from an empty bee nest to a full bee nest? Now, that's going to take some bees. You're going to have to get a bunch of these bees flying around your flowers. The flowers are also very important. And you'll notice that the animations of the bees change. So as they hang around, if you look at their back end here, where their stinger is, you'll notice there's nothing on the back end right now. But he's getting the pollen from the flower. And after a second here, you'll notice, see the back end of that one looks different. Now he's got pollen on him. And he's going to go find either a hive or a nest, go inside and drop off that pollen. So basically the key thing here is to have flowers near you and to have bees near you. You can also use bees to fertilize your crops. Now, it doesn't matter what the crop is. It could be, I think, anything, to be totally honest with you. You'll notice that the bees flying around with pollen on them, you'll see all these animations of the pollen dropping. Wherever they're flying, they're slowly dropping it. Now, if they happen to drop some of that pollen over one of your crops, it basically does the same thing as a bone meal, and it just helps advance your crop to the next stage. So hopefully we'll catch an oh, bingo, right there. Some pollen fell on the crop and it helped it grow. So if you have crops underneath your beehives or near them, it'll help that whole process go a little bit quicker. Moving bees from one location to another is fairly quite easy, actually. So you can take any of these normal small flowers, and bees are attracted to them, even the wither rose. The ones that aren't working for some reason right now are these taller ones. So any one of these smaller flowers, if you put it into your hand, bees are actually attracted to them. So as soon as you get close enough to them, if you get in range, they start just following you around. They're attracted to the flower. As soon as you get too far away from them, they'll lose interest and they'll stop following you. Second way of doing it is taking a lead. You can drag them around like this with a lead, and you can attach them to a fence post just like that. And then the third way, which I still haven't quite figured out yet, is if you take silk touch on an axe, and this only works for the hive. It doesn't work for the nest. But if you take a silk touch to the to the hive, supposedly any bees that are in them will stay in them, and that would be a way to move them. Now, the one thing I'll show you here is, let's go to survival real quick. I'm not sure how to avoid this part where is the bees aggro the second that I mine either of these. So every bee around me is now aggro. You see their eyes are all red, they're chasing me. The problem with that is once they sting me, they literally die after that. They can only attack once. As soon as they lose their stinger, they die. So just be careful there. They say if you put a campfire under it when you are trying to get honeycomb or honey out of it, that will prevent them from aggroing, but it doesn't seem to prevent them from aggroing when you are mining the actual hive itself. Breeding bees is very simple as well. Again, at the flower board, you just take any one of these smaller flowers, any one of these smaller, shorter flowers. Avoid those top ones. Those are the tall sunflower, roses. Those are the taller flowers. And you just take 2 bees. You give them each a flower. Give them a second here, and voila, a little baby bee. It's as simple as that. Well guys, that about does it for this video. I hope you really enjoyed it. If you did, please click that like button, and if you're new here, consider subscribing. Tweet me at Mathew Kande for future tutorial ideas. If you have any questions on this one, reach out to me or leave comments down below. And until next time, y'all, peace. Hey guys, little disclaimer, I wanted to make sure you were aware of this. This was played in the latest snapshot, so this is 19W36A. The bees won't be released until 1.15 in the actual game, so hopefully this will help you prepare for then. See ya!